Not enough people.
Hey, Tristan.
Hey, Emil, how you doing?
I'm very good. Welcome back to the Sunday sessions. And we're going big today. Before we only had a few that could watch, but now we're growing, and you can now see it live on both Facebook and YouTube and everywhere, usually, or now,
and
which is a good thing.
Like our own personal channels as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
I gather that Mackmyra have like hacked my Facebook account, and it's currently streaming on there as well. So thanks for that.
Yeah, it's like an episode of Homeland. It's really weird now.
Gathering big data.
So exactly, yeah, it's really growing. But today we're talking about Mackmyra grönt te, which we actually tried before, both you and me, I think both me and you really like it because it's something completely different in the whiskey business, and it really makes like just by its own it's great, but also having in cocktail it's terrific because you can build so much different flavors out of it, and try to find those kind of flavors that we talked about before.
Yeah, I mean, I think that when a whiskey maker kind of gives you a point of direction like this, like with green tea, it's a wonderful starting point as a bartender or mixologist to have that sort of starting point and go, okay, right, so green tea is not just a tasting note that someone's come up with, it's actually an ingredient that plays a part in the production process of this product. And I know you'll talk a little bit more about that, but it's wonderful because then you start looking for it, knowing that it's there, and looking for ways in which you can kind of bring it out of the whiskey, amplify it, or perhaps take a certain element of that green tea flavor and play with it with the other ingredients.
Yeah, and like we talked about before, but like trying to find the flavors is usually it could be a bit tricky. For people in general, when you talk to them and you say that, like, try to find each flavor, go for that one, and vice versa. But it's pretty easy with this one to really like find the flavor that you're going for, and people will find it. It's not that hard to find the tea notes or a little bit like when you try it. We talked a bit about a spicy note before, and also how we work with the spice notes and also get the balance with salt and different things. But last time you did like a highball, right?
Yeah, I'm going to do the same drink again, or roughly the same. Because it has this sort of green, slightly herbaceous, aromatic flavor profile to it. That for me suggests, this needs to be turned into a highball, especially when you start to bring like effervescence into that. It usually has this effect of kind of heightening those fragrant aromatic qualities. The highball I did last time, I actually combined it with the Creator tonic. Now tonic's is an ingredient that I think a lot of people are hesitant to turn to when it comes to whiskey. They feel like tonic somehow beholden to gin, and it would be an act of adultery or like home wrecking to take the tonic away from gin. But tonic plays well with like other spirits as well, and I think it has a place in whiskey as well, or certain types of whiskey mixed drinks. And it seems to me that it works particularly well with green tea, because tonic contains quinine. And it has that natural astringency to it that is not dissimilar to the astringency that we find in tea. Although you don't tend to find it so much in green tea, as it happens, it tends to be black teas that have that strong astringent tannin flavor. But also you find astringency and tannins in wood, of course, as well. And this is a product that's been aged in wood. So actually tonic water is more appropriate for mixing whiskey than you would normally think, and definitely appropriate for mixing with this particular whiskey. But what I didn't want to do with this drink is like take too much away from that green tea characteristic. I wanted to lengthen the drink out, retain some of that herbaceous green cut grass, slightly floral quality to it. So the other ingredient I'm using is green tea. Although this is actually an oolong tea that I'm using this time, so not quite a green tea. Oolong tea is similar to green tea, but it's got slightly more nutty, sort of roasted quality to it, which again is going to play in nicely with whiskey because, you know, we think about malts, which has got that nutty roasted quality, but also the toasting or charring of the barrel as well. So all of these ingredients are related to each other in one way or another, despite the fact that, you know, one of them's a tea leaf, one of them's taken from the bark of the cinchona tree, and the other one's made from malt and oak. They should all sort of harmonize quite nicely. Now, in terms of the balance of the ingredients, I haven't quite worked this out yet, but I'll do it roughly as this is the way I'm doing it right now. You'll notice if you've tuned in for these sessions before, I never use a measure. Measures are more or less banned in this house. Yeah, sure, if I'm behind the bar, then I want to get it right because I'm serving it to a customer. But I feel that like making little mistakes here and there, imbalancing the cocktail slightly, can sometimes create really beautiful results, and you attain a balance of ingredients that perhaps you wouldn't normally find if you're being a little bit too careful about measurements. So about 35 ml or thereabouts of the Mackmyra green tea. I'm going to put about 35. Actually, I might need a bar spoon here. I've literally got loose oolong leaves in this jug, so I'm going to just stop them coming out. About 35 ml in here as well of that.
Okay. Yeah.
And then,
but you can use any tea to this, right? If you're doing it at home, I mean, you don't have oolong, right?
Yeah, you can. You can use oolong. I would say oolong tea, a green tea, or even a jasmine tea might be quite interesting as well. I wouldn't necessarily go with a black tea, but it could be worth a try. You might remember a few weeks ago, I made another drink using a black tea bitters. Well, sort of black tea syrup, which does the sugar and bitters part of your cocktail all in one. You use the astringency and that tannin from the tea for the bitter part, and then you sweeten it with sugar. And it's a fantastic ingredient in an old fashioned. You just need that and whiskey. That's it. And you just sweeten it and tannin it at the same time. You end up with wonderful results. Just give that a little stir. And then, you get good sound on this.
Yeah.
I've upgraded my mic, so that sounds good.
It's really good. It's cocktail porn.
And then last time I garnished this with mint. And mint's a good garnish because it's got that fresh green quality to it. But, you know, I think you can switch out the garnish for another herb, maybe that might bring about something different. Because I'm using oolong this time, I've gone for a slightly more nutty, woodsy kind of herb, but still one that has that green aromatic sort of fragrance. So I'm using thyme.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
There we go. Cheers.
Cheers. Eller skål.
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 And I mean the flavor.
Well, that's really useful. And
so I was just going to say the flavor is
go on.
You know, you've got sweetness coming through from the tonic, but not too much. You've got that bitterness from the tonic as well that's bringing through some of the wood from the whiskey. And then that green tea is not lost at all. You've still got this nice herbal, fragrant, very, quite frankly, green flavor that's sort of permeating through the drink. So it's super. I mean, I'm going to drink all of this. There's no question about that. And I'm probably going to make another one. When we're done as well, because it's hot weather here. And this is a perfect drink for this kind of, you know, warm, sunny afternoon. Not too strong. You know, it's a light drink, low ABV. Yeah. Cheers. Okay, have I lost you, Emil?
Cheers. But do you think like people in general has an opinion on like when it's really sunny outside, you can't do whiskey cocktails? You know what I mean? Like it's like classic Pim's Cup or those kind of things like people go for. But really whiskey like highballs is so great like when it's a sunny weather and everything outside is beautiful.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a delay on the line, but I think there's a bit of delay on the line. But
I'm here.
Can
you hear me, Tristan?
just going to your point, I'm going to carry on going. Yeah, I do think that people naturally gravitate
Tristan?
towards white, like light spirits, gin and tonics, sodas, all sort of spritz type drinks, forgetting that whiskey can actually, easily fulfill a role if it needs to. And I think especially when it's a lighter style of whiskey, which has got fragrant, fruity, grassy qualities to it, not too much maturation on it, not too much smoke on it, that then you can have fantastic results in long drinks. And if anything, it opens up new opportunities for mixing highballs and spritzers and that kind of thing, because you've got the wood component, or because you've got the flavor of whatever barrel it's been finished in, that's coming through the whiskey.
Cool. I'm just talking to Alex, which is behind the scenes here, and I'm a little bit behind. I'm 10 seconds behind you, which is good. It's no problem. I'm usually 10 seconds behind everything I do, actually. But today, thank you for the great cocktail, though. I love when you do highballs. I think it's really cool, and I think it's really inspirational for a lot of people to see what easy things can do to a whiskey cocktails in general, because it's so fun to mix, especially green tea. I think one of the most fun things we have in Mackmyra is the Mackmyra grön tea, which is made with tea master blender Yoko Ono, which is a great name for doing tea. She's really cool, and we're really happy to that Angela and her together is cooking up these kind of things, which is really, really cool. Today I'm doing like an old-fashioned with super easy. I take chili roasted sesame, put it down in honey, let it just sit for about an hour. That's it. So you get that chili note and the sesame note to the honey, which goes so well with, like that we talked about before, how the tea notes come forward, but also how you work. I think sesame in general can bring out a woody note too, which is pretty fun, because you can just drink it as it is, or you can just have some sesame on the side. Especially like I usually do this with having salt, but you can do this and then try it again to get that really sesame note going and the chili note, which make the whiskey really pop and makes it so good. Together with the honey, you get the right balance, because you need sugar, obviously, in a cocktail or in an old-fashioned style cocktail. It would be weird. It would just be a glass of whiskey otherwise, which is also good, but it's not a cocktail.
I've never seen chili roasted sesame before. Is that something that you can get on the shelf in Swedish supermarkets then, is it?
Yeah, on a really good supermarket, but especially in like Asian shops or those kind of things. It's so tasty, because you get that umami note, but you also get like the chili note to it, which is so good. Me and my girlfriend do a lot of ramens at home, so it's great for that, but also great for cocktails.
Cool.
And the soupy, they look. You see a little more orange than regular.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. So we'll see. Do you like next time we're doing this? We're doing it with the Brooks whiskey, which will be really fun, because that the first time we tried together. Next Sunday.
Yeah, I don't know. I've not tried that whiskey before, actually.
Sunday session is also. No, you haven't, right?
No. I've got a bottle of it here. I just haven't tried it.
But it's really cool. I think we can do some. I think we should both go for highballs that time and see what we can do.
Cool.
Maybe I do like a Swedish highball and you do a super UK version out of a highball.
I don't know what a super UK highball looks like. It's probably like fish and chips highball, or
that's for you. Yeah, exactly. Which would be really cool.
Potato and nori or something. Yeah.
Yeah, and remoulade sauce or whatever you use. It would be really tasty. You can shake it with that. But the things we do when we do Sunday sessions is also to give something back to the community. So every sold bottle of grönt te from mackmyra.co.uk on the web shop, you get as a customer you get like an £8 discount, and those £8 goes directly to BlackRock to give something back to the community. So you use the promotion code, which you can see down here, which says it's BlackRock. It's super easy.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for that. It's wonderful.
Yeah, that's the least we can do here from Sweden, because we need to give something back, because we can't go around and talk to everyone and do guest shifts and send a lot of booze and so you can sell it. But we can try to get it out to everyone, and you can watch us every Sunday, at least for a few more weeks. So see what we do and try to give you some inspiration. If you have any questions at all, just reach out to me or Tristan or someone at Mackmyra, and we will help you out with whatever, actually. We also have on Sunday sessions, my next guest is Iain McPherson from the great bar Panda and Sons in Edinburgh. I don't really know if Iain is here. He's not available yet, so he will come later on.
You've still got me though.
Yes, and that's fine. it's no problem. But like the things now, if we can look a little bit about what the community is doing in UK, how are people talking about how we're going forward from this?
Well, I think that there's still a lot of uncertainty and speculation. I think the main issue we have as an industry now is trying to understand how long this forced closure is likely to go on. There's two main issues, that one. And the other one is trying to understand what the sort of consumer landscape is going to look like when we emerge out of the forced closures, because it doesn't matter how much support you get in terms of rent breaks and government grants and things like that during the period in which you're closed, if when you reopen you're only allowed to fill your venue, be that a restaurant or a bar or a hotel or a cafe, to 40% of its capacity or 30% of its capacity, because the economics of that situation simply do not work for most businesses, and even if it does, that's going to involve making 50% of your workforce redundant, which is still going to involve that of course will mean massive amount of unemployment for a lot of hospitality staff, in excess of 1 million people. So that's the biggest worries we've got at the moment. But until such a time as we understand what the lay of the land is in respect to those two concerns, we are in a sense powerless to. There's not even any point in debating it or talking about it, because we don't. We can lobby, we can raise these concerns with local MPs, we can speak to the press. But in terms of internal dialogue within our industry, there's very little point in making plans for reopening when we have absolutely no clue what that's going to look like. Oh, hello, Iain.
Yeah. Hello, Anne. Can you hear us?
He can hear us. We can't hear you, mate.
We'll see you though. You still have a great haircut. You look better than ever.
He's just getting in and making a drink. Yeah, and we can't hear you, mate. Don't know if your microphone's switched off or you muted yourself.
We'll see. When we hear him, it will be good.
Oh, it will be great.
but like if we talk, that's great to hear about that. I think the industry it will heal itself. Like it will take time, but it will never go back to normal. But I still think that we're doing the best we can of the situation all around the world.
Yeah, I think really the healing process, like you say, it will get there in the end, but it's how long. And I suspect that our industry, and there are probably other similar industries which people might not consider to be similar, but I would say things like performing arts are going to be the hardest hit by this, because we rely on people being in close contact with each other in order to appreciate what we do. And I think that both from a legislative perspective and from a sort of consumer anxiety perspective, it's going to be a long time before people are going to feel comfortable back in those situations again. And during the course of that time, we're going to see a lot of great bars close and perhaps never reopen, and restaurants and theatres and live music venues. And yes, it will heal over a period of time, and it will come back, and it will one day be the same, if not better. But it's in the meantime, it's gonna be tragic for a lot of operators and a lot of great venues.
Yeah, it's tragic times in so many ways. Yeah. But now the summer is coming, and that's always something to look forward to. Can you hear us now, Iain? Your mic is not on. No.
That's strange. I can see you're muting it and I'm muting it. We still can't hear you.
Yeah, we see that you're. Well, now you're not muted, but I can still hear you. Do you have a headset or something that you can use? It's fine. Maybe he can't hear us either. It's a one-way communication.
He's going to send an email.
Yes.
We'll do this by email.
We'll read it.
We'll do it by email.
We do it old school. This will be fun. So all the guys that were looking, they're not looking anymore. But we'll send you an email instead. It's kind of the same thing with instructions. No, but I was talking a little bit today with a friend about whiskey cocktails in the summer. So highballs is definitely number one, but it's also like nice to do like a classic old fashioned, to just sit down and make a big one, so it doesn't, and you can have it really cold for a long period of time when you just watching someone mowing your lawn or whatever.
Yeah, and I mean, just dilute it a bit more, you know?
Yeah.
Bit more bitters, bit more sugar, bit more water. Just dilute it down a bit, and you're in the sort of you're in. Oh, here we go. We got you twice now, Iain.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, we can hear you.
Now we can hear you.
That's good.
And a little bit of music too.
There we go. Yeah, so this platform doesn't like mobile phones, we've understood, but yeah.
Welcome, Iain.
Thank you. How are you guys?
How you doing?
Yeah, good. Good. Yeah, how are you guys on a Sunday?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, really good.
Nice.
Half a cocktail in, so feeling good.
How you been during the last week?
Surprisingly busy with work, but yeah, it's been good. But just not very fun things to do at the moment. But yeah, it's been all good.
Yeah, good. You look healthy, and that's good.
Thanks.
So both me and Tristan will be with you today on this epic journey with the Mackmyra Grönt Te. Have you had a chance to try it today?
Yeah, yeah, I've actually tried quite a lot of it actually. So
yeah, good.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good mixing, or in my opinion, I think it's a good mixing whiskey. It's quite sharp, but the tea lends itself to have a quite bitter finish. I briefly was listening earlier, so I think maybe Tristan and I have come up with quite similar drinks. But yeah, I've made like a tea syrup to go with my cocktail today. But yeah, it's great. It's like all the Oloroso casks. You know, you got the kind of green tea in there as well. It's a unique, interesting whiskey. It's nice.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it's really cool that we work also with the master tea blender called Yoko Ono. She's really cool, and she's making great tea here in not here in Sweden, but they're growing in popularity, and people are really. I think people are enjoying tea more than ever now in Sweden because we're a big coffee country. But now we also see these guys that are really good at their craft of making, especially green tea is growing in popularity. We at the Grand Hotel sells a lot of it because it's such an easygoing thing to have tea. But I think we're about 200 years behind from UK, so we drink coffee for now.
Do you think it's popular because it sort of justifies drinking whiskey when you should normally be drinking tea?
Yeah.
Like breakfast.
It's kind of a breakfast, yeah. It's a Swedish breakfast. You can warm it up a little bit, just a little bit, to get that hint of tea, even more tea. I think that also could be a thing to try at home. Maybe should try it with grön tea someday. That you warm it up a little bit to see if you get more tea notes because of its warmth. I don't know if that even could work, but it would be cool to try.
That sounds good.
Yeah, we'll see. So what are you doing today, Iain?
Just doing like a really classic highball, basically. So made a tea syrup with chamomile and breakfast tea. So it's really simple. You just steep the tea bags in water for overnight, and then you just add equal parts sugar to the water, the tea, basically. So it's really easy. Just done like 15 mils tea syrup, and then 40 mils of the Grönte. How do you pronounce it?
That's perfect.
Yeah. Oh my God.
I thought you were Swedish for a second then.
Yeah, let me do 40 mils of the Grönte. And then add some ice.
So while Iain is mixing, I know Tristan, you need to go now because you got to get away. I just want to thank you for today. See you next Sunday.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Should be good.
Yes.
All right.
Take care, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Cheers, Iain. Bye.
Yeah, so
now we can talk about.
Yeah, so I did 15 mils of the tea syrup and 40 mils of the Grönte.
Yeah.
And then ice, obviously, top soda, and then just want to do like a little lemon wedge, just for a little bit of citrus, but not too much.
Fantastic.
It's a really refreshing drink, and I think like the previous drinks I've done as well, you know, the tea syrup is very versatile. You know, it's basically all my drinks are about what you have at home. So, you know, if you don't have breakfast tea, you can use chai tea, you can use any tea you've got, and you just do the same process of just leaving it two to three tea bags and 200 mils of water overnight, and then add sugar to it. You can do it with anything. So, yeah, so it's a really versatile syrup. As long as you stick to the 40 mils of the Grönte, 15 mils of the syrup, whatever tea you use, top soda, and then just a squeeze of lemon, and that's it. It's a really refreshing highball. The good thing about the tea syrup as well is you can get really creative with it as well. You can do different kind of like iced teas, so you can add different types of fruit. If you don't like lemon, you can do peach, for example, instead, and it lends itself really nice to this cocktail.
Really cool. It looks delicious.
It is really good.
Ah, nice. Do you have any like suggestion for people to do, like now when the summer is coming, how you should work with Grön Tea in general, how you should work with the whiskey?
Sure. I think it's a very versatile whiskey. It's a very versatile whiskey. So, you know, obviously you can do, you know, your very old-fashioned style, but that probably isn't such a good drink to have in the summer. But I think highballs, you know, if you want to go very, very simple, just the Grönte with soda water is fantastic. You know, obviously I've just kind of done a small twist with the tea syrup. That's the only addition I've done to it, and a squeeze of lemon. But it goes with anything, you know. Apple juice goes really well. Most soft drinks I've tried it with works excellently. It's a very easygoing whiskey. So yeah, it's very easygoing. So yeah, anything you want, I think you can get creative. I think I touched on even Tristan talking about tonic water there, and you know, I agree. Like this whiskey matches quite well with most mixers. So again, it's about convenience, what you have at home.
Yeah, that's really cool. You're such an inspiration, Iain. So we want to give something back to you. So when you guys are buying a bottle of Mackmyra Grön Tea, you can use the promotion code, so you get an £8 discount at Mackmyra's web shop. So you will see the link down here, and we give £8 to you guys at Panda and Sons.
Thank you, Emil.
And if you don't like follow Panda and Sons on Instagram, you should do it right away. It's one of the greatest bars in the world, and truly a huge inspiration for bartenders all around the world, and probably the biggest star on the UK scene. I think you're one of the top 5 bars that you really need to visit all around the world. And when everything is back to normal, I hope a lot of people can.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to go back to some form of normality soon. But yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see. We shouldn't stress it either.
But what was it like in Sweden at the moment? Are you guys still just? Is it got strict?
Yeah, it's a lot of recommendation that we usually, because I was working now at the Grand Hotel this week, and we have more or less, we don't have any guests at the hotel. We only have around 7 to 10%, which is not so good at all. And we have very spacious between tables, but people is not moving at all. I think a lot of it's like here in Stockholm, if you look at different magazines all around, or media, it's portraying Stockholm as something like it's chaotic here, but it really isn't. I think people is really listening to the government and see the recommendation, and we'll see if, I don't think anyone has the right formula at all. So this is a big experiment for any country. So it's just a big hustle to see who works out the best. Because in Sweden, we've been socially distancing ourselves for over 200 years now, so we don't have any problems with that at all.
Just part of your culture.
Yeah, it is. It's a part of a culture.
Yeah.
But we were talking a little bit before, and this will be the last time you're on, Iain, because you're a busy man. So it's a shame for us, but I want to thank you that you've been on. So you've been such a great sport about this, and I really can't thank you enough. We'll send you some more whiskey.
Oh, thank you. No, yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it, but yeah, our new business is now taking up a lot of my time. So yeah, just so hopefully maybe later down the line we can do this again. But just for now, for the next few weeks or so, I need to just kind of focus. And just let me know if you want to go back and if you feel like to do it one more Sunday session. Hopefully we'll do the Sunday session at Panda and Sons someday, and we come over with some Swedish whiskey and some really bad humor. Oh yeah, so my new project is basically I've created a community within Edinburgh. So basically I've made a platform called the Edinburgh Booze Delivery, and it's all the local breweries, local distilleries, and local bars. and they're all under one platform. And we organize deliveries because obviously a lot of bars, all the bars are closed. And basically, you go onto the website, which is www.edinburghboozdelivery.com. And you can choose what you want from local, and then we deliver it for you. So we're trying to generate revenue for all the businesses that are suffering right now.
Oh,
and
great.
Trying to plan ahead for also social distancing and all this stuff. So yeah, we're trying to just create a nice community for that. But yeah, so we started the first 2 weeks, Friday and Saturday. Then next week we're going to start doing Thursdays as well, and hopefully by June we can do Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and just start re-employing unemployed bartenders as well. That's part of our USP, and just trying to help the community as much as we can.
Really good. I hope the project will go exactly as good as Panda and Sons went before this, and everything else you do. You're a huge inspiration for all of us, and I hope you stay healthy, guys, up there in Edinburgh, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing.
Thanks, Emil. It's great to see you, and thanks for having me.
Great to see you, buddy. Good to have you. Talk to you soon.
Cheers. Thanks.
Bye-bye.